I have to say, I'm a little bit mystified and perplexed by Death Stranding 2. I loved the first game, and I knew that there were rumors about Death Stranding 2 being in production. I know Norman Reedus in an interview had said, I don't know what, a few months back, that they were working on it because the first Death Stranding was a hit, so they're making another one. And then Kojima, did this sort of jokey, tongue-in-cheek post on, I think, Instagram and Twitter, where he was punishing Norman Reedus for spilling the beans, I guess. So I guess, I figured they were working on it, and I was kind of surprised because I didn't realize, or I didn't think that Death Stranding really did that well. I loved the game. I remember being obsessed with it, playing it, the sound design, the colors, the graphics, the gameplay, just the story, the insane cutscenes. All of that stuff was very compelling. I mean, the biggest problem I had with Death Stranding was maybe the action, and not necessarily the actual gameplay action, just the fact that with the weapons, you had to carry so many of them. Instead of just having one or two guns that you constantly had some kind of device or potion that would, keep them from degrading. You had to keep carrying all these rifles, and when you ran out of bullets, instead of being able to reload, you had to just grab another gun. That was very irritating. But I was still thinking, all right, the game is a one-of-a-kind thing, and a lot of people didn't like it. And I can get why. It was kind of disappointing, though, that there were so many people who I thought would appreciate something different than the average run-of-the-mill AAA game that just does the same thing over and over again. But at the same time, it's like, fine, it is. When you start playing it, I understand it's frustrating to, traverse the location. But all that stuff made sense to me, what he was going for. Like I said, the worst part of it was the fact that with the weapons, you had to carry so many of it. And I understood why, but that was annoying. It was like, you should make some concessions so that it doesn't get too, annoying. But I also was just thinking, all right, so Death Stranding was great. It told pretty much a complete story. I was hoping that he would go ahead and go on to, Kojima that is, would go on to his his horror game. If he wasn't going to do Silent Hills. I know at one point on Twitter he was talking about watching The Eye, a Taiwanese horror film, and how scary it was and how he was watching horror. So I thought that's what the next thing was going to be, and I figured that would do maybe better commercially. I don't know. I haven't really checked anything on the numbers of Death Stranding, but I was just thinking that he should do one now, that people are really kind of demanding from him. Do that, and then maybe go back to Death Stranding if he, really needs to. So I'm looking at the trailer. It looks nice. It's interesting. It's kind of weird how Troy Baker is wearing basically this outfit and this mask that makes him look like Amelie from the first game. Really weird. So that's on brand. I remember seeing a picture of Elle Fanning that he posted, Kojima, on his Instagram. And I was like, oh, she's probably going to play Lou as an adult. And I think this trailer probably suggests that. It'll be interesting to see people who actually take the time to go through frame by frame and remember a lot of what happened in the first game to, kind of come up with theories about what the next game is going to be about. But yeah, I overall, the first game was great. It was beautiful. Like I said, the sound design, I remember when I played Metal Gear Solid 5, I didn't want to play anything else after it because Kojima does this great job, at least with 5 and Death Stranding, where you feel like you're a part of that world and everything that's particular to the world, the vehicles, the aesthetic, the way people talk, the music, all of that, all of that is like becomes addictive and you don't want to, leave it. With Metal Gear Solid 5, the thing that broke me out of that was The Last of Us. With Death Stranding, I don't remember what it was, but I think it definitely affected the way I, look at AAA games since. Of course, this culture war BS affects it too, but yeah, it was a very particular game, and I really loved it, and I haven't played it since because it is a real commitment. Not just time, but like emotionally And then, like I said, you get kind of addicted to it. So you want to do all the deliveries, and I platinumed the game. Not one thing, but something was off to me when I watched the trailer from the Game Awards. And it wasn't just the audience reaction. So PlayStation put out a trailer without the audience reaction, and it's much better. You can hear the song, you can hear the dialogue, and that's great. But I realized that, the thing that was really missing from the trailer was Low Roar. And, rest in peace to him. It was actually really sad. I was genuinely affected by that, by his passing, because the thing was, on the lead up to Death Stranding, there was those great trailers, but those great Low Roar tracks. And that was what was missing to me in this trailer, even though it was beautiful and it's got interesting things in it. It looks nice. Leah Sedo's back. They got Old Man Sam, and I think, like I said, Old Man Sam is there because Lou is now an adult. Apparently, it looks like there's some kind of cult that Troy Baker's character, what was his name? That he, I don't know, I guess created for Amelie. I don't know. Like, that's really weird. So I'm curious to see what they do. I'm wondering, hopefully the action will be better. Like, you won't have to carry so many guns around with you. Knowing Kojima, you're still not going to be able to kill indiscriminately, which I guess is fine. I'd like to have that option without having to worry about, disposing the bodies before those, big craters are formed. But, I think all of that's taken care of. I can't remember. I don't want to, speculate anymore. But yeah, Low Roar, man. That music was an integral part, not just to the trailers, but to the game itself. Some of the most amazing moments that I've ever had playing a video game were in Death Stranding. And largely, mainly, it was because of how it was scored to Low Roar. So yeah, again, rest in peace to him. And I am actually looking forward to the game. So Death Stranding 2 is another reason why I'll finally decide to fight to get a PS5.